Hi, I'm Zach Guilfoyle, an offering manager with the Cloud Pak for Multi-Cloud Management. Today, I'm going to talk about governance, risk management, and compliance in the Cloud Pak. Please note that information contained within this presentation is for informational purposes only and is provided as is without warranty of any kind. In addition, this information is based off of IBM's current roadmap and is subject to change by IBM without notice. For this presentation, I'm going to go over what governance, risk management, and compliance is, how GRC is approached in the Cloud Pak, and finally I'm going to show some common use cases in action. So what is governance, risk management, and compliance? Well, governance is how management controls the execution of key tasks throughout an entire organization. Governance facilitates the flow of information up and down the organization and ensures that strategies are carried out systematically without the need for direct management. Good governance is what protects an organization from micromanagement. Risk management is the identification, assessment, and safeguarding against adverse events that impede organizational objectives. Risk management is analyzed along axes of probability and impact and is addressed via things like avoidance, controlling processes, accepting risk, or externalizing risk. Compliance is ensuring that activities meet all applicable government laws and regulations. To this end, regulations are treated as product requirements and are met with regular inspections and corrective actions to remediate those shortcomings. So why do we care? Because every organization must conform to some sort of governmental or internal standard. For example, NAST 800-53 is a regulation containing over 200 controls around information system management. Third-party auditing costs can cost over $75,000 per audit, and evidence of compliance can cost a further $100,000. Why bother? Because compliance with NAST 800-53 is required for all federal and state customers and any organizations or customers who deal with federal and state agencies. Compliance and security are major expenses for regulated customers. Meeting compliance for a project can cost up to 20% of the overall project cost, and security for those same projects can cost a further 25% of the overall IT organizational cost. Thus, GRC can have an overall cost for a project up to 35%. Reducing GRC impact reduces the overall cost of the project. The Cloud Pak for Multi-Cloud Management reduces GRC impact by providing visibility and driving remediation for security and compliance to meet enterprise standards for hybrid cloud environments. GRC in the Cloud Pak is policy-based, ready to use out of the box, and flexible and versatile, a hybrid solution for both VMs and containers. It all begins with policy creation. Policies are how compliance is enforced. They're easy to create and can be applied to any cluster or namespace that is needed. Policies are generated using several out-of-the-box criteria, including the namespace, the specification or rules of the policy, the compliance standard that is being enforced, and, in certain cases, whether or not the policy is automatically enforced by itself without manual intervention. After the policies are created, clusters and containers are scanned in real time to detect policy violations. From the Security Findings Dashboard, policy violations can be investigated according to severity and location. Digging into violations includes a description of the violation and recommendations to remediate. In addition to normal policy violations, the Cloud Pak for Multi-Cloud Management includes Mutation Advisor. Mutations are a byproduct of the development process, causing unwanted changes to files and processes that violate compliance. It ensures that required lines of code are preserved by comparing current state of containers to stored images. And it does all of this in real time because it's built on Sysdig Falco architecture. Now let's see what it actually looks like. This is Todd. He's an IT operations admin responsible for infrastructure, security, and general management of the environment. Todd wants to limit RBAC roles in US clusters from accessing secrets in the Cube public namespace. Without the Cloud Pak, he'd have to manually input this policy in each cluster. But with the Cloud Pak, he's going to write a single policy that's enforced throughout his environment. Let's see. From the Governance and Risk dashboard, he selects New Policy. He names the policy, selects the appropriate namespace for it to affect, specifies the actual policy, and selects the 2 U.S. clusters where he wants it to take effect. He creates the policy and confirms that it is active. While he's at the dashboard, Todd wants to investigate some outstanding policy violations. He selects the policy, giving him a detailed description of what it is and where it's enabled. He selects the non-compliant cluster, which shows the nature of the violation as well as remediation steps. He can use this information himself or send it to the owner of the cluster. Finally, Todd checks Mutation Advisor. From the Mutation Advisor dashboard, he can see an immediate summary of all monitored clusters down to the container level. He immediately finds several pods with problems, and clicking on the incident shows both the files and processes that have mutated. With this information, he can take immediate action to remediate specific containers that are causing the vulnerability. In summary, the Cloud Pak for Multi-Cloud Management offers comprehensive GRC functionality that reduces your project and operational costs. Security policies are easy to deploy to your entire environment, both VMs and containers. And Mutation Advisor adds a new layer of protection against compliance violations. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you.